In early July 2025, Pakistan found itself at the center of global attention as Balochistan, its largest and most volatile province, was rocked by a surge of violence unprecedented in recent years. The Balochistan Liberation Front, or BLF, announced what it called Operation Balm, a campaign that, according to their claims, involved more than 70 attacks in just 4 days. In the fog of conflict, exact numbers are difficult to verify, but what is undeniable is the chilling reality of the violence that has gripped the region. The heart of Operation Balm, as described by the BLF, was a series of coordinated strikes against military checkpoints, government offices, and communication infrastructure across at least 17 districts. If these claims are accurate, this would mark a dramatic escalation from sporadic guerrilla attacks to a new level of organization and intent, a shift toward destabilizing the state's grip on Balochistan through relentless, targeted violence. Amid the chaos, certain horrors stand out with grim clarity. In Job district, militants stopped a passenger bus, pulled 9 civilians from their seats, and executed them solely because of their Punjabi ethnicity. This atrocity, confirmed by independent sources, sent shockwaves across the nation. It was not an isolated act. Just months earlier, in March 2025, militants hijacked the Jafar Express train, resulting in the deaths of 21 passengers and all 50 attackers, a brazen display of both capability and willingness to inflict mass casualties. These incidents reveal a movement growing not just in numbers but in sophistication. Modern weapons, disciplined tactics, and coordinated assaults are becoming trademarks of the insurgency. Whether Operation Balm was as widespread as the BLF claims, or whether the truth lies in a handful of high profile attacks amplified through propaganda, the message is clear. The insurgency is alive, emboldened, and capable of inflicting serious damage. But why is this happening? To understand, one must look beyond the violence itself and examine the deep rooted grievances fueling unrest in Balochistan. Despite its vast natural wealth, natural gas, gold, copper, and minerals, Balochistan remains Pakistan's poorest, most neglected province. For decades, the Balok people have felt marginalized, excluded from the prosperity their land generates for others. This sense of injustice traces back to 1948, when Balochistan was annexed into Pakistan, a move many Balok nationalists never accepted. The result has been a relentless cycle. Armed uprisings met with military crackdowns leading to forced disappearances and extrajudicial killings. In recent years, a new catalyst has intensified these long standing tensions: the China Pakistan Economic Corridor, or CPEC. As a cornerstone of China's Belt and Road Initiative, CPEC promises to transform the region, with the port of Gwadar in Balochistan as its crown jewel. But for many Balok, CPEC symbolizes exploitation rather than development. They see their land and resources being handed to foreign investors while local communities remain impoverished and voiceless. This local struggle has now drawn in global powers. Militant groups have made Chinese nationals and projects a primary target, carrying out bombings and kidnappings to send a stark warning. Foreign interests are not welcome in Balochistan. For Pakistan's government, the stakes could not be higher. An unstable Balochistan threatens the economic lifeline that is CPEC and risks fracturing the country from within. For China, the violence calls into question the viability of its entire regional strategy. And for regional neighbors like India, developments in Balochistan are watched closely, as instability here could reshape the security landscape across South Asia. So, what comes next? Whether or not the BLF's claims of 70 attacks are fully accurate, the underlying reality remains unchanged. The insurgency is gaining strength, driven by decades-old grievances and new sources of resentment. The violence in Balochistan is now a flashpoint in a much larger geopolitical contest, one with far-reaching implications for Pakistan, China, India, and beyond. The critical question is whether Pakistan can break the cycle of violence through meaningful political engagement, or whether it will once again respond with force, a strategy that history has shown to be tragically ineffective. The world watches, aware that what happens in Balochistan will reverberate far beyond its borders. Only time will reveal whether peace or further turmoil lies ahead.